Imagine a young star so brilliant, she's drawn in NBA legends from Michael Jordan to Steph Curry, igniting debates and dividing opinions even after the season's last whistle blew. Caitlin Clark isn't just a player. She's become the focal point of controversy, respect, and even jealousy, stirring up emotions across the entire basketball community.
Caitlin Clark's the new it. If you don't have a long ball, talking about the 26, 30 feet, you ain't doing the Steph Curry, you ain't got none of that long ball in your game, yeah, you're gonna be behind.
She's doing stuff we've never seen before. Never seen anybody do that on a consistent basis. There's a lot of girls that done give it that done it in spurts, but you know, that game I'm watching all the Final Four, I'm like, damn.
Anyone who's even glanced at a basketball court lately knows that Caitlin Clark isn't just a star. She's a supernova, reshaping how we see the women's game. Her skill and fearless style have left even NBA legends speechless, turning the WNBA into a whole new level of excitement. But here's where things get jaw-dropping. The greatest of all time, Michael Jordan himself, has finally broken his silence about Caitlin, and his words, they're about to change everything. MJ's praise isn't just flattery. It's a monumental shift that could elevate Caitlin to a new realm of respect in the game. But MJ isn't the only one speaking up. NBA legend Rick Barry didn't hold back, coming to Caitlin's defense with some powerful truths. Barry slammed the hate she's faced from certain WNBA players, calling it out for what it really is: jealousy and pure fear of her unstoppable talent. His words don't just silence her critics, they expose the respect she's earned in ways that can't be ignored. What Barry and MJ have to say is something every doubter needs to hear, because it's a reality check that'll leave you thinking twice about who truly deserves the spotlight in basketball.
I think it's reprehensible what they're allowing some of these players. Anybody that does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined big time for doing that.
WNBA legend George Gervin has jumped in to back Caitlin Clark, and he's not holding back. Gervin called out the disrespect towards her, making one thing crystal clear: Caitlin's talent deserves to be celebrated, not dragged down. His statement hit like a bombshell, sending a message to every doubter out there. Caitlin's greatness is here to stay, and even legends see it. Get ready to hear Gervin's powerful defense that's got everyone talking.
They don't know the value that she's bringing for all of them. She bringing, they flying private planes now. They went flying private before she came. They on major networks now. They weren't doing that. She remind me of Tiger Woods for golf.
Yes.
Sometimes it's the players who aren't in the media spotlight who give us the real, unfiltered truth. Enter Jeff Teague, a solid player through his 12 NBA seasons, with an all-star nod and a championship ring under his belt, but never one to chase fame or headlines. Now in retirement, Teague is speaking out, and he's got a lot to say about how the WNBA has treated Caitlin Clark. With her massive fan base and undeniable talent, Teague's criticism hits hard and reveals a side of the league few dare to talk about.
Like, they played this all wrong, bro.
Terribly, bro.
They was supposed to gas this shit. This is why people don't watch this shit when y'all leave college, women's sports, because y'all hating on the best thing that's gonna happen to the W.
Now, Jeff Teague may not sugarcoat his words, but he's hitting on something crucial here. After years of heated arguments over the gender pay gap and struggling to boost WNBA visibility, Caitlin Clark has finally sparked real change. Yet, despite her impact, she faced a less than warm welcome. Teague calls out how this attitude could hurt the league's growth and how Caitlin deserves better from her peers and the WNBA itself. But that's not all. Celtics legend Paul Pierce, a 10-time All-Star, had his own role in fueling early media tension around Clark. Pierce even stirred up a racial controversy with comments on the Fever's standout rookie. Although he's tried to backtrack since, he's only reluctantly started to show Clark a bit of respect. But his response after she was left off the U.S. Olympic team? That speaks volumes.
Claim you want the women's game to grow, and then you keep the most popular girl in women's basketball off the team. How do you grow internationally and domestically if you don't put her on the U.S. team? It just makes the most sense. Sometimes you have to say, hey guys, this is bigger than the game, which it is. I mean, women's basketball is at an all-time high because of Caitlin Clark.
At first, Pierce's comments might seem respectful, but dig a little deeper, and it's clear he's still doubting Caitlin Clark's abilities. Sure, he thinks she could boost the sport's popularity, but he's hinting that her talent alone didn't earn her a spot on the U.S. team. Classic Pierce, always pushing buttons. Known for his provocative takes, he could just be stirring the pot to keep his media spotlight. But just when it seemed the Caitlin drama couldn't get any hotter, Shaquille O'Neal went off on Angel Reese's podcast, dropping a bomb right in front of Clark's biggest critic. Shaq didn't hold back, praising Caitlin in a jaw-dropping moment that stunned everyone. Hearing this level of support from an NBA legend, it left no room for doubt. Caitlin's greatness is undeniable, even to her toughest skeptics. Get ready to hear it directly from the Big Diesel himself.
Damn, she's not gonna hit that shot back. Like if I say 10 times you're not gonna hit the shot and you hit the shot, that means you're the truth. So I'm telling you now, you just lower it like this.
Missing out on the biggest sports event of the year was surely a personal blow for Caitlin. But what if it was actually a hidden blessing? NBA legend and defensive powerhouse Dwight Howard seems to think so. Back then, Howard predicted that Caitlin could use this time off to sharpen her skills, coming back even stronger. And he wasn't wrong. Fast forward, and Caitlin returned to the season with a vengeance, making Howard's words seem almost prophetic. Was this setback exactly what Caitlin needed to unleash her full potential? Let's dive into what Dwight saw coming all along.
She is a great player, but it's a lot of players that, no lie, who, as far as basketball-wise, they have the edge over her of why they should be playing in the Olympics right now. Mind you, this should motivate her.
Caitlin Clark came back from the Olympic break like a whole new player. We don't know for sure how much being left off the team lit a fire in her, but her game was unmistakably sharper. If she'd gone to Paris, Clark might have ended up benched on an already loaded roster, risking injuries and losing her rhythm. But Dwight Howard saw what others missed. He saw that for a player of Clark's caliber, this wasn't just a setback. It was a perfect chance to prove she's better than those picked before her. Then there's Hall of Famer Isaiah Thomas, who's seen it all on and off the court. Known for his sharp insights after a career full of championships and years as an NBA coach and executive, Thomas had praise for Caitlin, with a twist. He admired her potential, yet couldn't help hinting at the tougher reality she's facing in the league. His words carry weight, but there's a hidden message beneath that respect.
I think it's great what she's done, and I think it's great what the media and the WNBA and marketing and the players are doing because, controversy is not good, but, controversy sells.
Isaiah Thomas pulled off quite the balancing act. In just one sentence, he managed to praise Caitlin Clark, hint at the shady side of all the criticism against her, and still stay above the drama. It's no secret, people love a good scandal, and when Caitlin first hit the WNBA, the media had a field day, profiting from every angle of controversy. Isaiah clearly sees through it all, but he's too smart to fan those flames himself. Caitlin's quickly built a solid fan base in Indianapolis, but she's still got some catching up to do if she wants to match Indiana's legends in terms of local love. And at the very top of that list, Reggie Miller, the legendary sharpshooter and fierce competitor who wore the Pacers number 31 for 18 seasons. You might expect Miller to back Clark as the city's new hope, but instead, he threw down a different challenge, basically saying, every rookie has to learn to handle the heat and compete.
What did you expect was going to happen to her? Number one, I don't think it's jealousy. Oh my God, she's getting all the endorsements. We're going to go after her. You're playing at the highest level. You're playing in the WNBA. You're coming from college and you're going to the pro ranks, right? What did she expect was going to happen? Why are people so shocked?
Reggie Miller comes from the era when the NBA was all grit, physicality, and fierce competition. Sure, his view on hard fouls might not exactly fit today's game, but Caitlin Clark is dealing with way more than just the usual competitive fire. What she's up against goes beyond simply proving herself. It feels like a coordinated effort to hold her back. Caitlin's journey isn't just about earning respect. It's about demanding fair treatment, even when it means standing her ground against serious resistance. Meanwhile, Magic Johnson, who's got a front row seat to women's basketball as a part owner of the LA Sparks, is tuned into the tension around Caitlin's rise. The legendary point guard and 5-time NBA champion shared some eye-opening thoughts on Caitlin's impact, while also highlighting other big-name rookies. His take isn't just about Caitlin. It's about the future of the league and the challenges these young stars are facing.
Now, Caitlin, her teammates got to come to her defense.
Sure.
You can't allow her to have to fight every battle, right? But we have to understand that both Caitlin, Angel, and Brink, who plays for my Sparks, they made the WNBA better. And they're going to be tested by these incredible women who've been in the league for a long time.
Magic Johnson sees a powerful parallel between today's young WNBA stars and his own iconic rivalry with Larry Bird that transformed the NBA in the late 70s and early 80s. He's calling for patience, noting that these rising talents need solid support from their teammates to overcome challenges and reach the top. True to his style, Magic managed to praise everyone without diving into the controversy. But his high regard for Caitlin Clark is unmistakable. His respect sends a message. Caitlin's talent is so undeniable that even NBA legends with competing team interests have to acknowledge it. Now, if Magic was the epitome of class, Charles Barkley was his opposite in the best way. Known for his physical style on the court and blunt style off it, Barkley doesn't hold back. Now a media favorite with even more fame than during his playing days, the 11-time All-Star and 2-time Olympic gold medalist has chimed in on Caitlin Clark's WNBA experience several times. While he's had a few spicy takes, he's mostly supportive. like in this clip where he breaks down how her form evolved during the season.
And the thing I love about her, she never says a word. And now, when I watch her, two things I like. She's playing much faster, much faster. She was playing too slow the first half of the season.
Well, first of all, they didn't even give her the understanding, like,
You girls been worded for the WNBA season. Y'all been working out on the nose.
Fatigue may have been just as much of a factor in slowing Caitlin Clark early in the season as the defense she faced. Charles Barkley picked up on this, noting how Clark's recent energy boost has led to more opportunities in transition and a surge in her scoring, benefiting not only her, but her teammates as well. But Barkley didn't stop there. He also called out how some WNBA players have treated Caitlin, and he didn't hold back. His criticism was sharp and direct, shedding light on the hostile reception she's faced.
you women out there, y'all petty, man. Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty, girls. I expect men to be petty because we're the most...
Jokes aside, Barkley has hit on the real heart of the Caitlin Clark saga. Competition is one thing, but going out of your way to be petty or downright mean is a different story. There have been moments where players have sent Clark to the floor with no real reason tied to the game, making it look like more than just rough play. Some argue that Clark's talent deserves admiration, not aggression, and that makes sense. But Barkley thinks there's a bigger culprit at play here, the media, who he says is stirring the pot and driving this whole narrative.
They cannot have this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they try. People believe what we say on television. Just because people don't like you or your personality, they can't get on TV and slander you. It's just total bullshit. This girl is incredible. The number of attention, eyeballs she's brought to college and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness.
You can't blame Charles Barkley for being frustrated with what he sees as a serious injustice. The WNBA recognizes Caitlin Clark as a huge draw, yet it fails to protect her on the court and promote her as the future of the league. Part of the issue comes from corporate hesitation, as decision-makers want to let the season play out before jumping on Clark's meteoric rise to superstardom. But there's another issue at play too. Some key media members may personally dislike Clark, and that's just unacceptable in a professional environment. Then, Michael Jordan broke his silence on Caitlin, and when MJ speaks, the world listens. He didn't hold back, saying the WNBA owes a lot to Caitlin for the impact she's had on the game. He also called for changes in officiating, stressing that the refs have been unfair to Clark, and it's time the league does right by her. His words were clear. Caitlin deserves the respect she's earned from both players and officials. Of course, when it comes to comparisons, Caitlin Clark doesn't just get compared to anyone. She's often labeled the female Steph Curry, and it's easy to see why. Her long-range shooting is a dead giveaway, with a lightning-fast release time that stuns defenders. But both Curry and Clark's games go far beyond just the three-point shot. Steph himself has pointed out what makes Caitlin so special. She's got more than just the skills to shoot like him. She brings excitement to the game and elevates her team even when she's not holding the ball. This is what makes Steph great, and it's why his praise for Caitlin is so meaningful. No wonder people are constantly asking him about her.
I saw somebody break down the release time, which is pretty much identical to mine. You can't help but watch when she plays, where she's shooting from, the range, the confidence, the flair. Like, she's a performer. It's crazy though, just because her shot is like that, it's at that level. If you really watch, like, her floor game is as impressive, so it's kind of the total package.
Steph Curry's name is practically synonymous with three-point shooting, and for good reason. He represented the NBA in a landmark three-point shootout against the WNBA, and it was a thrilling neck-and-neck battle. In the end, Steph narrowly claimed the win. But what if the future holds something even more exciting? What if Caitlin Clark, who's already been labeled the female Steph Curry, gets her shot in an NBA versus WNBA three-point showdown?